Rick Santorum represented the state of Pennsylvania in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1991 to 1995 and the U.S. Senate from 1995 to 2007.
Senator, should the federal government subsidize any economic sector, and if so, which ones?
I don't think we should be subsidizing, but we have to make sure that our economic sectors are competitive. One of the things I announced for president on the factory floor in western Pennsylvania, talking about if we're going to restore the great center of America, we've got to get Americans back to work who haven't been working, haven't been rising. You saw just this past quarter, 0.2% wage growth. And if you look at where that the wage growth has really stagnated, it's the 74% of Americans between the age of 25 and 65 who don't have a college degree, who don't have manufacturing jobs to go to anymore. We had 20 million manufacturing jobs when Ronald Reagan was president. We're down to 11 million. If you look at that line, it's going straight down. If we don't allow our country to be competitive with the rest of the world, we're going to continue to see that decline, and there really is no hope for the folks who are struggling the most. That's why I put our campaign square on. We are going to make manufacturing competitive. We're going to put out a flat tax that'll have a transition period for manufacturing. We'll start out at a zero rate. We'll go back to everybody else's rate. We want to incentivize that money to come into this country. We want to have repatriation to cut it to 5%, again, to bring that money here so we can invest in capital equipment, expensing instead of depreciation, again, to incentivize manufacturing.
Flat tax for individuals?
For everybody.
What percentage?
20%.
Rand Paul's proposed 14.5%.
Well, yeah, he also has a VAT tax, but I don't. I have a income tax, a corporate tax, all 20%.
Speaking of the economy, in New Hampshire, if someone maxes out on public assistance, experts tell me that's about $14 an hour someone if they max out on public assistance, and they may well need that. Massachusetts, south of the border, maybe $20. How do you incentivize Americans who are on public assistance to go back to work?
Well, you're talking to the guy who led the welfare reform charge. I drafted the bill when I was in the House. In 1996, I managed the bill on the floor of the Senate. We wanted to do two things in welfare, and we worked with the governors to get that done. We put time limits, and we put a work requirement. We did a great job. We eliminated the only federal entitlement program that's ever been eliminated. We did that. I did that. I was the leader of that. And we should have done it for SNAP. We should have done it for the other means-tested entitlement programs. We didn't. Next door here, Governor LePage has done that and seen a dramatic result of that, a reduction in benefits. But it has to be a 1-2 punch. We've got to create jobs. We've got to create jobs for these folks who want to work but just don't have good enough paying jobs with benefits to motivate them to get off of these welfare programs. So it's a combination of manufacturing and putting time limits and work requirements on welfare.
Do you believe this president and this administration truly want real border security?
I don't think this administration is serious about border security or serious about protecting working men and women. In the last 20 years, 35 million people have come into this country legally and illegally. Now, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. But the reality is wages for those workers I've been talking about have been flatlined for 20 years. We have never seen such decrepit wage growth. And who are the 90% of the people who are coming in legally and illegally? Almost all unskilled workers. To compete against our hardworking men and women who want a chance to succeed, but we're not giving it to them. I'm the only person in this race that has called for not just securing the border, following up on the visas, imposing E-Verify, but calling for a 25% reduction in the unskilled labor that's coming into this country. It is a serious problem. Everyone else is dancing around it. I'm going to stand for the American worker.
Briefly, Senator, how should we deal with employers who hire illegal immigrants or aliens?
E-Verify has to be universal, and employees, both current and future employees, have to comply with it.
You've run before. You glad you made the decision to do it again?
It's been it was a tremendous opportunity last time around. This time around, it's actually better because last time everyone was trying to say we were more conservative than Mitt Romney. This time you're actually talking about issues and how we're going to help this country, and that's a good thing.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks.